Two-tire policing, a term that was popularized by the very controversial Tommy Robinson. Tommy Robinson grew up in a town called Luton, where he realized there was a lot of unusual behavior taking place by the police. But before I begin, guys, if you guys are looking for cute jewelry, you can click the link in the description. So yeah, Tommy Robinson realized a lot of suspicious and unusual behavior from the police. And what he realized was the police would defend and protect one group and completely neglect a different group. For example, when he witnessed the police allow an extremist Islamic group to walk into a remembrance service and completely vandalize the service.
We have a soldier's homecoming. Scott Montridge died. He's from the estate I lived in when I was younger. He's 26 years old. Michael Swain was 19, he lost his legs. I've gone to pay my respects that day because they've sacrificed that for us. As residents of Luton, they've gone there to fight for us, for our freedoms. I've gone there that day, and the first thing I've seen is a large police presence. I've then seen Saif al-Islam. I've seen groups of Muslim extremists around the town. They were taken from my town hall, and then the soldiers marched past. They were called baby killers, murderers, butchers of badgerers. They spat in the lad's face, one of the soldiers' mum's faces, okay? It wasn't this group done this, because bearing in mind, we know this group. I've looked into this group, I understand their hate, I understand where it's coming from, so we get it. Yeah? It was the fact that they were allowed to do it. The police facilitated them in doing it.
Another example of this was when the biggest grooming scandal the UK has ever witnessed took place, and so many young British patriots tried to tell the police about the rape, the grooming of young girls, but the police did nothing about it.
One girl, her father had rang 999, the emergency number. When they went through to get the history of how many times he'd rung the emergency services for his daughter, it was 200 times.
Oh, yeah.
200 times he'd rang for help. 200 times. Then two fathers got together, and the two 13-year-old girls were in a house being raped by gangs of Muslim adults, yeah? The two fathers went round to get their daughters back. The police turned up and arrested the fathers. They left the girls in the house. There's another incident in this report. 5 Muslim men have a 12-year-old English girl. They've got her drunk. She's in a derelict house. They're all yeah? The police turned up. They arrested the 12-year-old girl for being drunk and disorderly. Yeah? This is the level of one girl. She was 12 years old as well. They got a hot iron rod with the letter M, and they heated it up and they scalded her bum because she was the property of Muhammad. Yeah? She was the property of Muhammad. Another girl they got and they nailed her tongue to a table. And now the police investigation identified 200 perpetrators. An independent inquiry has identified over 300. Now, when they brought them to prosecution, they prosecuted 11. Why?
Now, the term has been popularized and has been spread all throughout the UK. Why? Because two-tire policing is literally growing like a cancer. Let's look at some footage of the Leeds riot.
Jesus, look at the guys, Jesus. Look at the guys, what are you doing? What are you doing? This is fire. This is fire.
Now, let's look at some footage of the Southport riot. Now, I'm going to show you guys some more footage, and I want you guys to pay close attention to the police in the Leeds riot.
Police are going, police is going.
Amy Chelsea saying reform.
Look, the old police. They're taking glass of it. Look at them running. They're running. They're running. Get closer.
Yeah, so if you could all just stay where you are, stay in your houses. We will manage this. And if you're out in the crowd, I just ask you to go home, please.
I want you guys to pay close attention to the police in the Southport riot.
I've got a pacemaker and they've just arrested me for walking up here.
No, for section 35.
Oh, because you want to do them any tighter?
That's why I'm trying to lock them so they can stop getting
Well, actually, you're really tightening them.
Well, I'm not.
You really are tightening them and you're really making me... You what?
So can you relax?
You're joking?
That's a good.
Are you I've never been arrested in my life.
Madam.
I have, don't you miss, don't you? I've never been arrested in my life. I'm 73 years old and I've come here because of them babies who's died. And I'm being arrested.
Do not mention it. Just get anything you do, sir.
What am I getting arrested for?
Breach of Section 14 public order.
Whoa. Calm down. Calm down, bro. Calm down.
Now, the same thing is literally happening today as we speak, guys. There's a literal civil war going on in Twitter. I mean, sometimes I thank social media because if it wasn't for social media, we wouldn't even know half of the things that's going on in the UK. But there's a literal civil war going on between the MDL, which is the Muslim Defence League, and British Patriots. I know a lot of people are saying it's the EDL, but the EDL has not existed for the last 10 years. So we're just going to call them British Patriots, okay?
Kids alone! Leave our kids alone! Leave our kids alone! Leave our kids alone!
You can go to prison just by being around here. It's sad.
There's a few thousand people.
So multiple news outlets reported that a mosque was bombed, and I tried to look for the evidence and I couldn't find anything. I literally couldn't find anything. I wanted to add it onto the video because I think that's important information, but I searched everywhere: TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, Google, and I literally could not find anything. So it's either nobody recorded it, which I highly doubt, or it just didn't happen.
I appreciate it's a sling, but it's the best I can do it.
Yeah, I know, look, I know. He needs an ambulance. No. Leave him! Chill, man. He's a fucking man.
Just told you to come in with acid and you let them all pass. Are you daft? Just warned you then you want to don't listen, do it, we know what they're like.
He's flat out. He's flat out. He's actually flat out.
Now I'm going to show you guys some footage of how the police reacts to one group and how the police reacts to another group.
Come on! Aye! Aye!
I'm actually being arrested.
You're going to be arrested, okay?
Right.
Take that to the police station.
Right.
Okay, this is in relation to some comments that you've made on a Facebook page. Okay.
Oh, really? Oh, it's a Facebook crime, is it?
When it's nice and calm, we go upstairs.
Yeah, okay, thank you so much.
And when things escalate,
Yeah, we understand. Yeah, that's fine. Thank you.
I just need you to understand we're not against you guys. We're here to help, etc.
We all understand.
Salam alaikum. Good morning, everyone, and thank you to the leaders and elders that have afforded me this opportunity to speak to you personally. The reason I'm speaking is to underline my commitment on behalf of the organisation to protect all the communities, to protect all the communities, to protect all the communities, to protect all the communities across the West Midlands.
This guy I spoke to has been able to access one of the far-right Telegram groups, and he's...
So we want to de-escalate the situation. So we want to work with you to de-escalate the situation. I've been reassured that everything's going on now as long as you make any arrests.
Why was there such a low-key, should we say, police presence? Because I mean, clearly your officers were there, but they were not visible, and yet there were an awful lot of people out and an awful lot of people who were armed with various weapons.
So we have really strong business and community relations, and because we were aware through intelligence that there was a potential protest through that misinformation yesterday, we had the opportunity to meet with community leaders, with business leaders prior to that event to kind of understand the style of policing that we needed to deliver during the course of that operation. So we knew that there was going to be a large amount of people out on that counter protest. We knew who the vast majority of those people were. We'd had conversations in terms of what that was likely to look like, and so our policing response was commensurate to that intelligence and the information that we'd.
Did you just hear that conversation there? He said they're throwing stuff. Why aren't you doing anything to them? We haven't got any plans to do anything to them. That's crazy.
Hello, salam alaikum. My name is Phil Hutchinson and I am the Superintendent for Greater Manchester Police based in Oldham. Obviously echo everything that the leader, Rouge, has said. Firstly, thank you very much for inviting us and arranging the meeting. It's the inaugural meeting. We're having these now bi-monthly, so in respect to what Rouge has mentioned about some increased tension.
Are we going to end two-tier policing, sir?
Now, not only is there two-tier policing, but there's also media policing. Guys, the other day I literally lost my TikTok account. I lost my TikTok account because I was outraged by the fact that 3 young girls were just stabbed, just like that. I was outraged by the Leeds riot that was taking place. I was outraged by the fact that someone literally bombed a bus and they literally went on a strike spree and literally deleted all of my videos and literally permanently deleted my account. Do you know how many small accounts I've seen that have literally been permanently deleted for simply sympathizing with white people? Literally. And there was also a BBC interview where a guy was explaining what was going on in one of these riots and rallies, and the interview was cut halfway. Let me show you guys.
Sense of angst of what had gone on in the preceding couple of days, where you'd had an army officer stabbed in the back, the misleading representation in the northwest where this occurred.
That's a different case there, Kevin, so we'll leave it there. That's Kevin Hurley.
They're not. You're missing the point. All of you are missing the point. People conflate this and they make
and I think we're worsening that conflation by mentioning the two cases together here, so we'll leave it there. Thank you, Kevin Hurley.
Now, not only is there two-tier policing, not only is there media policing, but there's also a culture of policing. For example, we see a lot of people preaching on the streets and praying on the streets, which again, if they would like to, that's great. I'm going to show you guys some footage. However, what's shocking to me is the fact that I have seen just as much videos of Christians being arrested for either preaching on the street or singing hymns on the streets. Let me show you some footage.
If you make members of the public harassment, alarm, distress, it's a criminal offence.
I'm aware of that. Yeah, so that's what we're not doing that. What we're doing is we're preaching our religion.
Okay, could you just tell me what you were saying?
So we're saying Jesus is the only way to record this. We're saying, you asked me what I've been preaching. So we've been preaching about the gospel of Jesus Christ. The Bible says, can I just speak?
No, I'm talking to you. Pardon me with your name.
We're talking to him.
Now he's talking to me. So unless you want to be arrested, because you will be.
God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Christ his Lord. He died for the sins. God so loved the world. Jesus died on the cross for you. There is no other name under this heaven.
Jesus is the only way, the truth, and the life.
I appreciate
and
that.
nobody.
Nobody wants to listen to that. They want you to go away.
You don't want to listen to that. You will listen when you're dead. You will listen when you're dead. You will listen when you're dead. No.
Like, guys, Christians are being arrested for spreading Christianity in a Christian country. Make it make sense. Now, by no means am I saying that other religions shouldn't be allowed to pray or to preach or to sing their hymns and songs in the streets. However, I find it very strange that Christians are not being allowed to preach and to sing and to celebrate the religion in the country that literally would not exist if it wasn't for that religion. Everything from freedom of speech, everything from democracy literally comes from the Bible. But yet, we're not allowed to preach that, we're not allowed to talk about it. Isn't that strange? Now, why am I talking about this? Why is a young black girl talking about the eradication of British values? Because I live here. It's that simple. It's because I live here. I've had a lot of cultural shocks online, but I think the biggest cultural shock that I've ever seen online is people DMing me and saying to me that you're black, why are you supporting this? That you're black, you're not even British, why are you supporting this country? Because I live in the country. Live in the country that you support, or support the country that you live in. A lot of you people are living in this country and have benefited so much from this country, whether it's free education, free healthcare, signing up to universal credit when you've gone broke, okay, being able to be gay, being able to vandalize the street, even being able to write your nasty little hate comments under my videos. You even have the freedom to hate the country. There's a lot of countries where you are not allowed to even say anything bad about the country or the president, but here in the UK you have that level of freedom of speech. But the reason why you guys are afraid to leave this country is because you know there's no other country that will give you the benefits that you have. So for everyone who comes in my comment section and says, oh my gosh, but why are you supporting this country? Please go spend a day in North Korea. Go live in North Korea. Please go live in flipping Saudi Arabia. Go live in Afghanistan. Please go do it. But the reason why you would never do it, the reason why you would never leave the country that you hate is because you know this country has a lot of benefits that you won't find anywhere else. That's why they call this country Great Britain. So I think that was one of the biggest cultural shocks for me, was to see how many people are literally living in this country but at the same time hate this country. Andrew Tate said it best in a tweet, and I'm going to read it out. As a Muslim, Tommy Robinson is correct in a lot of the things he says. I not allow my faith to prevent me from listening to somebody's words and understand what they are saying. The British are angry for the same reason the Gazans are angry. Pressed men who face losing their lands will fight back. The British people have the right to exist on the land of their ancestors, and they have the right to stop their country from being sold out to globalist scumbags. Would the UAE allow their locals to become second-class citizens in their own country, or do they in fact live better and more privileged than every immigrant? Do immigrants in Dubai get to break the law and get special treatment? Do they get to arrive without passports and get free housing? The Islamic world will not tolerate what the UK has, and the average British person is tired of it. Where Tommy Robinson is wrong is that this isn't because of Islam. I promise you, the average British person doesn't want the world That's crazy, sorry guys. Problem is unchecked third worlders, not Islam. British men want the country they had 20 years ago, and if the police and government continue to ignore them, repressed rage explodes. Pray for peace for everybody and the clarity for the Muslim and British to stand together and realize it's the elites who are pitting them against each other. Round of applause to that. Honestly, round of applause to that. You know what's so crazy? This is a non-British, non-white, non-English, non-Christian man who can step outside of himself and see that what's happening to the British people is simply unfair. I feel like for a generation of people who are always talking about equality and diversity, freedom of speech, equality, it's so funny how equality stops for you guys when it comes to white people. Aren't white people a race too? And I also loved how he mentioned Gaza, okay, because I feel like we always feel bad for countries in situations like this. For example, we feel bad for Iran, we feel bad for Afghanistan.
And it's ironic that these reports and accusations often come from people who would be the first to protect the indigenous populations of other countries. The people that attack us for being patriotic will be the first to stand up for and protect American Indians, the indigenous population of the United States. And I get that. I will stand up for the indigenous population of any people, because it is their home.
Yeah.
But when it comes to their own home and their own people, they turn the tables 180 degrees, and I just am very confused about that.
But when it's happening live in Britain, okay, the British people's rights are being taken away, freedom of speech is being taken away, just their voices are literally being stripped from them. We don't care because they're white, but at the same time we come in the streets and we say we want equality. Now, I know a lot of people won't have sympathy for English, British, white people because of colonization. But here's my thing. The people that are experiencing what they're experiencing today are not responsible for slavery. They're not responsible for slavery. I find it so crazy that we're holding a whole generation of people who are not responsible, have never seen, and don't even believe in the views of their same ancestors, and it will allowing them to just go through so much inequality, all because of something their great ancestors did. Okay, I'm not being funny, but us black people, we've also committed crimes too. Okay, us black people were the same people who also sold our own people during slavery. Why are we not holding that against each other? And another thing I want to point out is the fact that yes, the British Empire committed a lot of crimes. There's no denying that. Okay, some of the crimes they committed was whoa, but we forget that a lot of great things came out of the British Empire that we still benefit from today. For example, capitalism, democracy, freedom of speech, the fact that anyone can just go out and express themselves just like that. And let's not forget that the British Empire is also responsible for multiculturalism. Sorry, multiculturalism. However you pronounce that word, okay? The British Empire united so many ethnicities and minorities and cultures in a way that we've never seen before. I feel like we was doing such a good job at being diverse and being united under one flag, which is the British flag, for so long. And we was actually excelling in whatever that word is. We was doing well in that. But I don't know what happened after 2020. I don't know if it was the vaccines that came and just messed up everyone's brain. But it's like now everyone wants to focus on race. Now everyone wants to be so divided and tribalistic whilst also screaming they want equality. So again, are we going to sit here and hold a grudge against that British Empire while still benefiting from a lot of the things that came out of it? Doesn't really make sense, does it? Again, going back to Andrew Tate's tweet, which I absolutely loved, he mentioned the UAE. Now, let me tell you something. The reason why the UAE is thriving right now, whether it's Dubai, whether it's Qatar, whether it's Kuwait, is because they understand the concept of unity. The reason why the UK is declining right now is because we're so obsessed with this idea of diversity, which is great. But let me tell you something. Diversity does not mean anything if there's no unity. The reason why Britain has been so successful when it comes to immigration and allowing, different cultures to come in is because we were all one unit. Like the civil war that I'm seeing online, for example, the ones that's going on in Stoke and in Liverpool, I never seen this growing up. And I'm quite young. I've never seen this in my 20 years of living. I've never seen this type of civil war. Okay, but the reason why we're having so much civil unrest is because we've lost this concept of unity. My parents grew up in a very poor country. The leader of the country was pretty much a dictator. Okay, he took 90% of the money, invested it in his homes, invested it in his mansions, invested it in his parties, while his people were suffering. My parents literally had to go out in the streets and make this dessert called puff puff. Some people may know it as mikate, and that was their hustle, and they still wasn't even able to get their basic needs met. Okay, when they came into the UK, they were able to get a minimum wage. This minimum wage allowed them to get their basic necessities. They received free education, they received free healthcare, they were also allowed freedom of speech, making money, opening businesses. Like, Britain gave my parents so much, and that's why they love this country so much, and they also taught me to also love this country due to just how much it gave. So let me repeat, you do not have to be white to fight for British values. This erosion of just British values, whether it's two-tier policing, whether it's media policing, whether it's cultural policing, it doesn't just affect white British people, it affects everyone. So please understand, this is not just a white man's issue, this is everyone's issue, because if we lose British values, we pretty much lose our freedom. And again, going back to Andrew Tate's tweet, because I absolutely loved it, I loved how he mentioned that this is just a plan for the elites. This, you know, war between British people and Muslim people and Pakistani people and white people is literally just a plan from the elites to literally just divide and conquer.
Which is very effective, is divide and conquer. And so in the meantime, if you can use the media plays a very important role. If you can turn men and women against each other and black and white against each other. And one of the reasons you import a lot of immigrants into Europe is turn the general population against the immigrants, and then you need government to be in the middle. And you know, so these are all, whether it's divide and tactic or invisible enemies, these are all ways to institute fear and get people to go along with things. And of course, the invisible virus allows you to do enormous control mechanisms. You can stop people from gathering, you can stop people from organizing, you can stop people from getting together and talking about what's going on, et cetera, et cetera. And if you digitize it with contact tracing, then you can control who's talking to whom. If you can get them to do all their work and education online, you can literally listen to everything they're saying. So you can institute extraordinary amounts of surveillance, all in the theory that we're protecting you from the invisible virus. It's very clever, and as you can see, it's working with many people, not everybody.
Now, to end off this video, British values is something that we've all benefited from, okay? Whether it's your ability to chat on the internet, whether it's your ability to, go and sign up for universal credit when you're broke, whether it's your ability to get free education, whether it's your ability to get free NHS, British values is something that we should all be fighting for, and we should all be protecting, because if we lose that, we lose our freedom. But anyways, guys, if you guys want more videos like this where I actually told the truth, like and comment, because this is what you call real journalism, okay? And if you guys are looking for cute jewelry, you can click the link in the description, shop to Bougie. You can also use the code Bougie15 for 15% off. And yeah, guys, I hope you liked this video. Bye.
Don't believe in what don't we believe in, guys, in Birmingham? No racism, no racism in Birmingham. We're all one unit. That we've been 25, 30, 40 years ago, and we'll never change that. So no matter how much people try to aggravate it, whether it comes to the Asian side or the white side, it's not going to work, mate. We're from Birmingham, and we're called a multicultural. That's what it's about.